Long ago, when early human civilizations were just forming, the world was a wild place full of untamed nature. People had only recently learned to farm and store grain, which helped them settle in one place. But with stored grain came an unexpected problem: mice. They chewed through food supplies, ruined harvests, and caused disease. The early farmers were desperate for a solution. They tried traps, dogs, and even fire to drive away the rodents. But nothing worked consistently. One day, in a small village near the Nile River, people noticed something curious. A wild, sleek animal with glowing eyes had started appearing near the grain stores at night. These creatures were small, fast, and incredibly agile. They stalked the mice in silence and eliminated them with precision. The villagers watched, intrigued. These animals weren't aggressive like dogs, but they weren't scared of humans either. They kept their distance, observing from shadows, but always returned to hunt the mice. In time, the villagers realized these creatures, small wildcats, likely descendants of the African wildcat Felis libica, were the perfect allies. Instead of chasing them off, the villagers began to leave out scraps of food. The wildcats, in turn, began to trust the humans just enough to stick around. Over generations, a subtle bond formed. The tamest wildcats were the ones that stayed closest to humans, and they passed on their calmer behavior to their kittens. Humans began to appreciate their silent allies. These small predators required no training, offered no noise, and kept the grain safe. In some places, people even began to see them as sacred. The ancient Egyptians, for example, eventually worshipped cats as symbols of grace and protection. Thus, through a quiet and mutual agreement of convenience, wildcats became house cats. Unlike dogs, who were bred for tasks and trained to obey, cats domesticated themselves. They chose to live with humans not because they had to, but because it suited them. They became companions on their own terms. And to this day, cats remain semi-wild in spirit, mysterious, independent, and utterly fascinating. Not owned, but shared. The end. Want a version with more fantasy or myth next?